Hope you're all doing well today. And if you haven't noticed the date and the month, you should know that it is October, aka the spooky month. So, what better way for me to celebrate it and, help kick off the spooky month theme on this channel, which is an annual thing that we do here, than by building a spooky abandoned church. Ooh. It's got multiple different inspirations in it, a lot of little details, but I thought you might like to see me build it. Without further ado, let's go.
First things first, one of the first few things I had to do with this build was find a perfect spot for it in my world, which obviously was just here, in between this valley and the tree, and I don't know, I just like the idea of it being here, and, sort of, I like to imagine that it fit there. Anyway, once I'd found the spot, I began digging it out and placing in all my materials, such as spooky wood and wood stone, and just trying to add some texture into it as I built it. Although it was a bit weird when I was digging out underneath the church so I could start building in some of the stone that needs to be underneath it, and I saw this. Anyway, with that weird little incident out the way, I continued building and just ever sort of building on the textures that I was trying to do, because at this point in time I was trying to build and watch the two videos at the same time. I was watching Chaos's and then watching the other guys, and switching between the two so that I could try and blend those two church builds that they both did, and try to get the design that I was really looking for. As, I wanted this thing to be perfect. I wanted it to have a proper church vibe instead of just looking like some massive brick structure, and I wanted it to look detailed as well, because I haven't exactly done detailed builds in Terraria before. Also, it was quite funny as I was building, because I was trying to build, and then all of a sudden, Cthulhu decided to show up and engaged with me in a very, very dramatic fight, which I almost lost, as you can see by the footage. Yeah, very dramatic indeed. Now, at this point, I was trying to begin building the front and the back of the church, but I ran out of materials, so I had to quickly hop back to the house that I made for the Ranger playthrough, which I had stored some materials in so that I could carry on building. So of course I went back there, made some good old stone slabs so that I could continue building back of it, because in the image, no, it wasn't the image, in the video that I was basing it off of, which I believe was the other guys, he had this very specific sort of mix of blocks to make this very specific sort of textured look at the back, which I really liked, so of course I had to try and replicate that to the best of my abilities, and then, yeah. And what I'm just doing here is, as you can see, I had to bring down the front of the church, because sadly I'd built it a little too forward, / back, whichever one of those ones you want to use, and I began to build the roof of the church, just so I could get a general gist of where I wanted things, like, of course, where I wanted the organ, where I wanted all the chairs, and of course lights and all that too. Here I also began building the windows, which I did of course build 3 of, but sadly the footage for me building the other 2, it seems to have just been like lost to time, like deleted or something. I just don't know what happened to it, but it was funny when I was watching it back through while editing this, as at the end of the original clip there, you can hear my little brother come up to me and be like, "Hey, we want to go out now?" Because I was actually filming this part on Halloween, and we went out trick-or-treating short after that. probably don't care, but it's just a little fun fact. Anyway, after finishing the interior, I decided why not just start on the roof, and I managed to build a bell, which is actually pretty neat, using a palladium pillar block, I believe it was. That was another thing I took from the other guy's channel. Channel? No, not channel, the video. You get what I mean. Words aren't my strong point today, apparently. But I thought I should just have a crack at that and work out this sort of 3D effect, which I seem to have been trying to do increasingly, because I did it on the Ranger house, as you probably saw when I went back there. And yeah, I just don't know why. I think it really suits it, and I just really like the effect it has on the build. What you're seeing now is the build entering its final stages as I just went around and put up some cobwebs and decoration. You know, try to make it feel that little bit more spooky and abandoned, sort of like you've just come across it in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of an abandoned sort of cemetery, and it's all dusted up, it hasn't been touched for years, you know.
And here it is, the church build. Finally finished at last! Well, I say church build, but I'm going for more spooky sort of church build. But I'm pretty sure you guys get that sort of illusion. Anyway, here it is, finished at last, and honestly, I think this has to be my favourite Terraria build to date. I just feel like we did really well with the lighting. Like, hang on, if I just quickly, oh, mouse is dead. If I, quickly just get rid of the wisp, I feel like we've got some really good lighting sort of here. Like, you've got the nice sort of, kind of bright lighting over here, but it's not too bright. But it's just like, I imagine if I was in an actual church like this, it'd be sort of dim, so it helps to go off that sort of abandoned, spooky feel. So yeah, I also like how at the back here we've got all these different sort of like little textbooks, and it's all fun. Basically, it just looks abandoned, and looks like the sort of thing you'd find in, I want to say, some sort of abandoned cemetery, which is funny enough because I'm planning to build a cemetery basically just next door. Not this way, but this way over here. Anyway, I think this is probably has to be my favourite and honestly most challenging build yet, as we've incorporated so many different like sort of new building techniques and features into it. Like, one thing I've been experimenting with, thanks to YouTube, is this sort of thing right up here, look, with the with this roof. It looks almost 3D because of the combination of the walls and the blocks. And this isn't something inspired by two of my big Terraria sort of YouTuber inspiration figures. That being Chaos and hang on a sec. Just gotta quickly do this to get rid of the crow in here. There we go. That being Chaos and this other guy. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but I'll definitely be sure to credit them in the description below. Either way, they're the ones who kind of like, you know, inspired me to do builds like this and incorporate a lot of the. Are you fucking kidding me? That guy's gone now, so yeah. Anyway, let's go on. It's been one of my favourite builds, and I think this personally turned out quite well, you know, because like I said before, we've incorporated all these different styles. And another thing I'm really proud of here is the texture that we've managed to work in. Sort of, I just went to press the S key to make my little light guide dude go down there. But yeah. Oh, I also love this new mechanic that they've added in 1.4, where if you go past something, it'll start wobbling. But either way, I think this is one of the differences that I had to alter for the sake of being spooky. Like in the original video, I took inspirations from both Chaos's church build and the other guys. I'll have to search for his name in a bit so that I can stop just saying this guy's. And I try to incorporate them both into here, like this whole sort of this main sort of part here is definitely inspired by the other guys' things, but stuff like using the spooky wood on the floor and the colour of the windows, as well as doing this sort of thing for the windows up here, that's definitely Chaos inspired as well, because that's something he does with all builds. He messes around with actuating stuff, and I don't know, it's just something I think is really cool. Anyway, I added in all these like sort of skull banners to make it all spooky and creepy, and also, yeah, it's just a great build personally, and I'm proud of a lot of the little gimmicks and features added in. One of the features being this: if I go in here and I step over this pressure plate, Oh no, it's spooky music. Could I have just stepped into an abandoned church which is conveniently placed and built in the middle of my world? Oh no! It's almost like it's Halloween! Ah! JPEG images of ghosts and zombies and stuff and ooga booga. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. Sure, stop this spooky music. If we are to quickly take a trip up this spiral staircase, which I'm really happy, learned that off Chaos as well, and we go over here to this conveniently placed organ, and we take a sit at it, you know, we can just like imagine that we're playing it something. So like, if I do this, just like, or maybe if you want to go all out, you can pretend to play. Or you could do this. Anyway, that has been me building this pretty snazzy church, if I do say so myself. This pretty snazzy spooky church for Spooktober. Don't know what day it's going to be, so I'm not going to like try and list anything. That's another thing. I'm going to get on trying to film my outro. Oh, never. This was going to be an outro, but let's quickly see what we got. Yeah, we got unicorn outfit. Heck yeah. Let's go. I won't put it on. But either way, that has been this church build. It's a really nice one. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Hopefully you guys are too, and hopefully you guys like it. But either way, that has been Terminated Judgment with another Spooktober. Or this might be the first Spooktober day. I don't know how I'm going to organise it yet. This has been Terminated Judgment with Spooktober build. I hope you all have a spooktacular month, spooktacular day, spooktacular week, and I shall see you all next time.